Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar and welcome to the 13th episode of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM Show Season 2. And this is our first show up in the East in Kolkata. Today is the 13th, the 24th of August, Thursday. I have some great general managers and a very senior area director for the East. I shall not introduce them right now. I'll take a bit, let the excitement build up. You've perhaps seen all the faces, all the names. But before I go ahead any further, let me bring in my partners for the show, Diversey, with their video. Thank you again, Diversey. Thank you for being with us. We're truly excited to take this series on to the next level. The topic for the show today is extremely exciting. It's about navigating cultural diversities, challenges for hotel general managers in East India. Before I bring in the speakers, a bit on our show. Our show goes by regions, North, West, South, East. It's every Thursday and Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. I'm sure you blocked your time and you're watching the series. Just in case you've missed any of the episodes, you can go ahead and watch them on bwhotelier.com, our various social media platforms. bwhotelier.com, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. The very purpose of bringing in general managers virtually is because we are able to travel to every nook and corner of the country. You cannot expect general managers from all the regions and all major cities and tier 2 towns this time to come in on a platform physically on one day. It's impossible. So, and these general managers are soon going to lead this industry as CXOs. Watch out for them, look out for them, and for all the impressionable. You don't get finer talent than these gentlemen. They spend years honing their art, and now they're leaders in their own right. Now, a bit on the show, which I said is navigating cultural diversity, challenges for hotel general managers in East India. India, by character, the way it is built, is a democratic, egalitarian society, and at a point in time had all virtues that we are now trying to bring back. Right? Somewhere along the centuries, we lost a lot of sheen, values, and diversity was one of them. Navigating cultural diversity is a crucial challenge for hotel general managers in East India, given the rich and varied cultural landscape and tapestry of the region. Let me now begin by introducing my partners on the show today. And the one gentleman who's going to lead the show, who's going to moderate and anchor the show with me, is Mr. K. Mohanchandran. He's the Senior Vice President Operations for East and Northeast for IHCL. Welcome to the show, Mohan.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Thank you for having me.
Such a pleasure. Next one in is Arnab Chatterjee. He is the General Manager of the Taj Bengal in Kolkata. Who doesn't know Taj Bengal? Welcome, Arnab. You're muted. Next in.
Thank you.
Is Gaurav Soneja, the General Manager of the ITC Royal Bengal, another well-appointed hotel, and who doesn't know ITC Royal Bengal. Welcome in, Gaurav.
Good evening, Mr. Khanna. Good evening, Mr. Mohanchandran, my fellow panelists, and all the viewers. Very good evening. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Next in is somebody who's been with me from Goa earlier, but now in Kolkata, Arjun Kaggallu. He's the general manager of the Novotel Kolkata Hotel and Residences. Welcome, Arjun.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khanna, and thank you, Team BW Hotelier, Mr. Mohanchandran, and fellow panelists. Very good evening. Hello to all the viewers. Lovely to be here. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Arjun. You're kind. Next one is Kumar Shobhan. He's the general manager of the Hyatt Regency in Kolkata. Welcome, Kumar.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be with BW Hotelier again this year and to discuss a lot of new things and learn new things. Thank you.
Thank you for being on our show, Kumar. Last but not the least, Subhash Sinha. Subhash Sinha is the general manager of the Westin Kolkata. Welcome, Subhash.
Good evening, Mr. Khanna. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be with such a eminent panelist. And good evening, Mr. Mohanchandran.
Yeah.
And to all the viewers, thank you so much. And we look forward to the evening.
So, with your permission, I shall roll the dice and begin the proceedings. And let me come into you, Mohan, with my first question. It's a little searching, but it'll set the context to the show. Now, we've spoken a few times about the show. Tell me, navigating cultural diversity in the hospitality industry is not only about addressing challenges, but it is also about capitalizing on unique opportunities that it presents to us. This discussion going ahead can help hotel general managers in East India and perhaps all over create more enriching experiences for their guests while fostering a welcoming and inclusive atmosphere. Given your years in the industry across the country, right, you are perhaps the best placed person to speak on the subject, if I may. Please.
Thank you. Thank you again, Bhuvanesh, and a very quick hello to all the co-panelists and everyone watching the program. Cultural diversity, yes. I don't think one should belabor the point too much. There are many, many benefits to cultural diversity. Firstly, this aspect about bringing different perspectives to the hotel. Having guests and staff from different backgrounds, Bhuvanesh, brings diverse perspectives to the hotel, allowing for a convergence of various ideas and a wonderful way to create connections. Because after all, one of the key motivations that people travel for is to experience cultures, right? So that's one immediate thing that I can think of. Then there is the aspect, I think, of improved customer service. By having a culturally diverse team, you're able to better attend to different types of guests, no matter where they come from. Then the chance to innovate, because innovation, again, as we know, is driven by different perspectives. And by having staff and guests from diverse backgrounds, I believe, there are more chances that we are likely to inspire innovation. And then lastly, I also want to touch upon something which I think is important, but perhaps not thought of all the time, which is market segmentation. By having diverse staff, in a sense, we also serve a more diverse population, which means that we can have a better market segmentation because you better understand the pain points of people traveling, address their needs, so you reach a wider audience, adapt your services, and products to market demand. So in that sense, I think diversity and managing it is both a challenge and a great opportunity for operational heads.
True. Yeah, and also I think we are well placed at this point in time, coming from where we are to where we are headed. The good news is the younger generation is alive to the subject and aligned, and they know where to head and how to go about it. It's just that we need to bring all the heads together so that we fly like a good shaped plane going through the wind tunnel. All right, over to you, Mr. Mohanchandran. Thank you for this wonderful response.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll begin by the first question to my colleague Arnab Chatterjee. And this one, I thought, Arnab, is on the cultural mosaic of the region in the East India. So the diverse
Right.
cultures, languages, traditions, the lifestyles present here, there is so much to offer a travel of any genre. And again, as we know, perhaps compared to the rest of the country, in many ways, the East is still relatively unexplored. So how would you consider the importance of understanding and respecting, local customs and etiquettes when interacting with guests from different cultures?
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, good evening to all viewers, Mr. Khanna, Mr. Mohanchandran, and fellow panelists. Thanks for having me on the show. If I just break this entire question into two halves, I think let's talk about handle the mosaic part first, and just to understand what we think when the word mosaic comes to our mind. It is an amalgamation of different elements, culture, textures, materials, etc., etc. And if I now see the eastern part of the country, and particularly the state we are in, which is West Bengal, we have ample amount of it. So as some of them say, we have Himalayas to Ganges, and with varied cultures, different languages. The state has ample things to offer. And so when we move into what is unexplored, the unexplored part, so there is a tremendous opportunity for all of us and for tourism overall in the state of West Bengal. And here, I think if some fellow, our agency or travel trade partners are also on the show, they should be coming up front, because what we have seen, and Mr. Mohanchandran, you have worked in the Rajasthan region for such a long time, the Golden Triangle, or the itineraries which have been made towards the north, that is something which is missing towards the east. And I think it is time now for them to step up and get these itineraries in place. I'm sure, and all my fellow panelists were part of certain forums, which is to do with the government of West Bengal, where we have discussed these things. And the minister is very upfront. He's launched a website, etc. There can be other, shortfalls, but the intent is there. And if there is an intent, I think it is important that we move on with something of that sort. Now, when we are talking about Diversey, and it is not about only Durga Puja, about West Bengal, and that is how the West, the every part of the world just talks about Durga Puja. I think Durga Puja I'll take as the last thing. Let's see what the overall tourism in West Bengal. So we can talk about special interest tourism. Now, the region, which is Rabindranath Tagore's university, the Vishwa Bharati, Shantiniketan, unexplored. How many people actually, get into that? There are still, we have ample scope of homestays, hotels, etc., to come up there. If I take nostalgia tourism, now nostalgia tourism is something which every Bengali can connect. And me being a Bengali, if I would have been in London or in working in a firm in Google in Southern California, I look forward towards that one period during October, which is the Durga Puja, or during my summer vacations, to come back to the country and have that mache jhol and bhat, as we call it, the fish curry and rice. So moving on to that, then the environment and socially sensitive tourism. How much we have in Sundarbans? I don't think that has been not touched upon by a lot of people, and duars. These are the two which just comes to my mind immediately. I think huge amount of work we can do and get the diversity and the unexplored opportunities which the state has. And last but not the least, the Durga Puja, the UNESCO, now it's part of integral cultural heritage, and there's been a lot which has been talked about. And I think my fellow panelists will take over at some point of time when it comes to tourism. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Arnab. And moving along to Gaurav. Gaurav, let's explore the significance of training staff. So what role does training and education play in helping hotel general managers and their teams understand and respect cultural norms and preferences of a diverse clientele? Over to you, Gaurav.
So thank you, Mr. Mohanchandran. I will, as far as training is concerned, I think the providing exceptional guest experience rests upon the foundation of well-trained workforce. For a luxury hotel, it is expected that the employees of that hotel will be able to communicate and interact with the guest from the clientele from across the globe. We in hospitality business are committed, towards bridging the gaps and making a meaningful connections with people from all walks of life. And it is our responsibility, to ensure that we train our resources to appreciate the unique set of beliefs, customs, way of thinking, to ensure that every guest feels really understood and respected. Excellent communication skills help us to create a positive overall guest experience, and refining the verbal and non-verbal communication skills for all our employees. It's the way to achieve a guest delight in a brand equity and the brand equity of the hotel. At ITC hotels and all hotels for that matter, we all have a very rich and diverse workforce from varied backgrounds. We also conduct a lot of courses on diversity and sign languages. I think we do it in ITC. I'm sure we all do it in other hotels as well. We also have a very diverse workforce in terms of, specially able colleagues. And we kind of do a weekly or a monthly training to actually sensitize our team members to remove any physical or attitudinal barriers. I also think the body language, training through it's often, underestimated, plays a very vital role in cross-cultural interactions. And these sessions are conducted on a regular intervals through classroom trainings or e-learnings and all. Coming to the language barrier part of it, while language barriers, as Bhuvanesh ji started with, what are the advantages also. So I'm saying that language barriers can present challenges, but there are also opportunities to demonstrate adaptability and cultural awareness. There's a huge opportunity here. And as the world becomes more interconnected, it is increasingly common to interact with guests from the native languages which are different from others. So technology has played a very vital role today. We have the translation apps. We have, for instance, we can just bridge the language gap there and then in real time. So these are the processes. These are the things which really helps us. And training obviously plays a very, very vital role in it.
Thanks, Gaurav. And I'm glad you touched on this aspect of DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusion. It's something which is so important for all of us today, to be able to reach out and find these opportunities for our less fortunate or less deserving. I think it's a great thing that all of us do. Coming on next to Arjun. Arjun, alongside this entire cultural diversity aspect, of course, there is also the aspect of cuisine diversity, So there is to my mind, a case for exploring the opportunity for hotels to showcase local cuisines while also catering to all kinds of different travelers. And particularly in our region with this Eastern and Bengali cuisine, generally has a massive hook for hoteliers to entice and for guests to explore. Any thoughts on how one should use this as a USP or as an opportunity?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mohanchandran. I love this question particularly because there's food in it. I think there is a saying, right? Way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I say way to anyone's heart is through the stomach. That's the most integral part of it, and it brings such a joy to me. And of course, line of sweets, food. Bengal cuisine, East cuisine particularly, we talk about. Very, very, very important for us. What we believe at the HOTELIER Decor also is that sustainability earlier used to be a buzzword. Everybody used to use the word sustainability across everything else, but now it's a way of living. What do we do for that is, when it comes to food, we celebrate local flavors. I go for every hotel. I think personally, I feel if I have to plan a vacation, first thing I look at is what kind of food that particular hotel or a destination offers, right? Or on the fellow panelists, I look at Peshawar at Gaurav's Hotel, La Cucina, Shobhan's Hotel, or Vedic at Subhash's Hotel, or for your hotel, Shanozeri, of course, right? We think of the place first, what do they offer, how good the food is, and then we decide on it. I think when it comes to Kolkata, Bengal, East, food plays a very integral part. Our hotel, particularly if I have to talk about, we have a wide variety of clientele, corporate business to weddings, leisure and social segment, who thrive upon food. They come to you only because you have certain type of food. And we also cater to diverse clientele, right? We can't give everybody the same kind of food. People come here. An example of an international traveler staying with us, we do a welcome amenity, give them a small portion of mishti doi and sandesh to them. That builds a lot of curiosity, and they come down for the breakfast and say, listen, I saw something in my room as an amenity. What exactly is it? Curiosity is already built up there. The chef comes into play, and then he actually feels so proud to talk about that food and say, listen, this is just a tip of the iceberg. Let me show you what I can do. Then they actually come and present the Royal Bengal thali. And they actually tell him that, listen, before you go for this thali, please skip your breakfast, because I'm sure this is enough. And after that, you can skip dinner also. And the chef has his eyes beam with joy to actually present that thali to him and say what Bengal has to offer. And like you rightly said in the beginning of this conversation, that people travel to explore different cultures. And the beauty of our country is every 50 kilometers we travel, food habits of the people change. You travel every 200 kilometers, the way we dress change, the way we talk change, the dialect changes, everything changes. And food connects, right? It's an emotion that connects people across. And what better than places like us, we are something for everybody, right? A corporate traveler can come and have a business meeting, can have his international cuisine, have a nice cocktail dinner. I have a Mawadi guest who can come and attend a wedding, have a feast of Mawadi cuisine there. I have a Bengali come in and experience the bhog. Arnab touched upon Durga Bari. He said that how important Durga Bari is, what kind of bhog, how people experience. So I feel food connects all of us. I think that's why we all are here. And you rightly touched upon the topic. Bengal has a lot to offer. East cuisine has lots to offer, I'm sure. People travel far and wide, particularly during Durga Puja. I think everybody talks about more than Puja. They say, wow, the food. The street food. It's amazing. You got to go and experience the kind of food there. So I think it's a joy, and I feel we are blessed to be in this industry to actually create that with the team members there. So I feel very, very proud, and I'm sure we are evolving by the day. I mean, I keep going to all these restaurants and I'm surprised by the fact that the innovations they keep coming up with. So we have come a long way, and I'm sure we have a long way to go.
Yes, Arjun, very right. I think food is one of those things that once you start opening up, it's very difficult to put a full stop and end something. But anyway, we'll come back to this conversation. Moving on to Shobhan, a slightly trickier one, something that perhaps again doesn't first off strike us when we think of diversity. But I want to now explore the religious and spiritual sensitivities. Can we for example, how do religious differences, let's say, impact communication and customer service within hotels, and how do GMs plan for this or address these challenges, both in the staff area as well as in the guest area? Over to you, Shobhan.
Hi, everyone. So yes, it is a tricky topic, and to touch on these topics, there are always waivers signed. But I was reading somewhere, and it very clearly mentioned that the practice of hospitality is an abstract commitment to loving your neighbors, enemies, people who come from different parts of life. So, you don't look at the surnames, you just look at the person as a guest and give the entire care to that person.
Well said.
So, yeah. So, it's very interesting that these questions keep coming to us, that how do you handle the religious and spiritual sensitivities? So actually, if you ask me, we only handle guests. We don't handle religious and spiritual sensitivities, because we as general managers, and I'm sure everyone has worked across India in different parts, and we imbibe the culture, not forgetting that, okay, what other cultural sentiments which are there. Now, Calcutta or West Bengal, and we had multiple discussions on this before, that Calcutta as a city or West Bengal as a state has invited everyone. And I have worked in Chennai, I've worked in Delhi, I've worked in multiple places, but this state actually celebrates everything. And so as we. So, we do definitely celebrate the festival. So if I take an example of Ramadan, now it's a holy festival for Muslim fellow colleagues and Muslim guests. And we do get a lot of business coming in from nearby Bangladesh or people traveling from in and around. We do complimentary sehris in the morning. So, the team are ready beforehand when at the time of check-in. The guest is asked, are you observing fast? Would you like to have a sehri? So there is a set tray which goes into the room at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., whatever the time of is identified that day. Now we talk about Diwali and Holi. I mean, Holi is a festival which everyone celebrates. And at Hyatt in Calcutta, we are celebrating it for last, I think, 10 years now. And we do around 1,700, 1,800 guests. Now, we don't go and ask whether you are a Hindu or a Muslim or a Sikh or a Sai. It is anybody who wants to enjoy that festival of colors and jump into the pool and enjoy themselves. Everyone is more than welcome. We do celebrate Lohri as a festival in January. And if you look at the invite list, different states, different kind of people who come in. Now, this we're talking about an F&B concept or a room concept. Of course, if there's a holy festival which is happening, we do send amenities in the room. If a guest who offers the prayer and would like to have the compass or the mat to observe Quran, to namaz, we do that. Now, I remember in olden days, every room was supposed to have a Bible, right? As an international company, we were all supposed to have Bibles in the room, but now I don't think so. This is anyway part of this grand standard. So, we believe in doing, as Gaurav mentioned, that, we believe in doing small, meaningful gestures and respecting that particular festival, irrespective of whether you are in Chennai or you are in Mumbai or you're in Delhi or you're in Calcutta. We do respect those things. If you look at our, digital platforms also, we do not focus on come celebrate, Holi with us. We bring in colors in there, because at Hyatt, our purpose of the company is to care for people so they can be their best. So it doesn't tell you that, okay, which religion you have to touch. And every company has a mission and vision, and so as we, but the focus is only on the purpose of the company. So that's something which is on the religious and the spiritual sensitivity.
Got it. And now coming to you, Subhash, I know you've been waiting patiently for a bit. And with you, I want to explore first off how hotel decor and ambience can reflect local culture while maintaining an international standard, and also be a calling for making a hotel a destination in itself. So also within this, perhaps explore collaborations with local artists, musicians. How do you enhance that cultural experience for your guests?
So great. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohan. I think, navigating through culture for all the other panelists, what they spoke about, in terms of design and decor, it is more about being immersive to the local culture. Because the explorer, people who are traveling from faraway places, when they reach, suppose in this case, it's East, destination East or Calcutta, they expect to see something which is local. They expect to see something, what are the design elements which is different than any other part of the country. And being blessed to be born in a diverse country like India, where each part of the country has its own story to say, and in the East, especially in terms of art, fine arts, in terms of culture, design, decor, there is a plethora of availability, in terms of colors, you name it, different style or design or art forms, in November and December, you will get a glimpse of that when we have these melas of across West Bengal where they showcase. Now, coming back to the hotel, I think in every touch point, from the welcome trays at the airport, from the car pickup to when the guest walks in, every aspect of it, can be showcasing, what is the local culture. In this case, it's Bengal, and I think the guests really appreciate. Like if I have to take an example, like in our hotel, when you walk into the Westin Kolkata, you'll be greeted with a 105 feet tall face of spirituality,
Yeah, I've
which
seen
is
that.
like half face of Ma Durga. We call it the face of the spirituality, and that also addresses the previous question where Shobhan was trying to explain. And for us, it's the guest. And for us, it is about depicting, local art form or local culture uh, in the right format, and any guest who walks into the hotel gets definitely awed, and they like to take pictures, etc. In the age of Instagram and Facebook and the social media, people like to communicate without talking where they are, and the cultural diversity or the culture of the place, that definitely communicates. So in terms of design decor, it is more about being immersive to the local culture. Now, there are different ways and means by which we practice this in my hotel, and a few of that is, as Arjun mentioned about Vedic as a restaurant, which has got a seasonal menu, and all the ingredients are local, and it is cooked the traditional way, and we make sure that all the vessels, all the equipment, cooking equipment, it's all like from the Vedic period, the grains, etc. Where millets is the highlight, and stuff like that. In our other areas, when we see the restaurants and all, we do have a small display area for local artisans to showcase their stuff, and make sure that they are able to generate some revenue also. So that is also done by us. Our food promotions, if you see, they are typically very local, because most of the travelers staying in the hotel are from outside the state, and they do want to experience what is the local culture all about. So we have had some very good local promotions like Borsho Boron, Opar Bangla, which is East and West Bengal, and so on and so forth, which highlights in terms of food and culture and the ambience and decor. So small things like when we say a departure gift, we give them a token of a small bamboo artwork which is presented to them as a giveaway, and the guests love it. Mostly they carry it for them, and that's the reminder of being in Calcutta.
Sure.
So these are few of the things that we do, and across Bengal, I think there are so many art forms. So there is so much for every traveler to explore, and we give the glimpse of it in a manageable way in our hotel.
Right.
Now, while we are doing all these things, of course, Marriott is a hotel with 8,000 hotel across the globe, and we got to maintain our standards. And the best part is, if the hotel culture is immersive, and it immerses with the local culture, then there is no conflict, you know and everything marries in so well that people tend to get the experience of the Marriott brand standard, yet enjoying the local flavors, and that's what sets it apart. And you get your comfort, and you get to see Calcutta and experience Calcutta in the hotel. And
Right.
we do celebrate most of the festivals, in which are typically Calcutta. We do the one of the biggest proper pujos in our complex,
Yeah.
and mostly we are sold out for that event. So yeah, these are some of the ways that we do in terms of flower decor. It is so different I follow you guys also in Taj Hotel, to see and get inspired by the local flower arrangement.
Thank you.
And trust me, I mean, it helps us also. And we do practice that as part of the entire setup.
Thank
So a small little touches to a big farm. I think everywhere you will get to see something or experience something which is local. And the beauty of it is the seamless integration, and the cultural immersion of a brand in the local setup. And that's what sets us apart.
Great. So I think we are going into a short commercial now, aren't we, Bhuvanesh?
Yep. Yeah, we'll take a very short commercial. Yep. All right. Thank you for that. I also want to make a small point here. Come the 20th and 21st of October. Salman, can you bring in the slide? The BW Hotelier IHA, the Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards, will be there at the Pullman AeroCity, New Delhi. Be there, block your time. But most importantly, the nominations opened yesterday. So this message goes not only to the East, but the entire country. There are 13 categories. Log in over there, file your nominations ASAP. They are open only till the 4th of September. So we have barely 12 days left. So anybody who can file within 12 days, he or she will stand counted, and the nominations will move on to the scrutiny level, and then on to the 4 regional juries, and then the national jury led by Mr. KB Kacharu. All right. Thank you.
Right.
So over to you, Mohan, back to you.
Thank you. And I'm coming back to you, Arnab, to examine ways to look at, guest feedback, guest preferences. How do we understand guest preferences without making assumptions based on cultural stereotypes? If you can just share some thoughts on that, Arnab.
Right, sir. See, the first thing is to accept the cultural diversity. That is more important when we are interacting with guests and guests are arriving, checking into your hotel. If I just take our motherland, we have diverse culture, food, attire, religion, everything. Now, how do we actually at the hotel get them together and curate that experience for the guest? So going by an example, for Taj Bengal itself, if I see the breakfast or the lunch or the dinner, the buffets which are placed, that has got food on a daily basis from every part, and we have to do it. We have to curate that for each and every guest, for them to have that comfort, for them to understand and have that experience at the hotel. As we all know, we are guided by Atithi Devo Bhava. So every guest is a god to all our chains, even the Western brands like the Marriott or the Novotel, Decor. They have also kind of now got into the Indian culture, and they're so like what Subhash or Arjun was talking about is creating that experience for all guests during Durga Puja. Now, if they won't be doing something of that sort with the Western, because we know how the brand stands. But being an Indian hotel company and an Indian hotel chain, it is important and for us to have that, and we read each and every guest feedback just to understand what else we can do. Some other examples like Japanese. Now, every staff, so Gaurav was talking about staff, and the diversity in staff. So there also, if you are dealing with a Japanese, the staff should know about punctuality, about maybe not the to that core, but when we are dealing with the Japanese guests, that sensitivity should be there with everybody. And similarly, to curate different cuisines in our specialty restaurant, etc., that is also extremely important when we capture the guest feedback.
Okay. Gaurav, you did speak a bit about DEI, and I mentioned that I'll come back to it again. So, the hospitality industry is known for bringing in staff from multicultural background. We understand that they provide a diverse set of experiences, but how do you promote an inclusive work environment? And within that, if you could also spend a little bit of time on what are some potential misunderstandings or conflicts that can arise due to cultural differences within a hotel team, and how can hotel GMs then, resolve these effectively?
A diverse range of employees and leaders from different backgrounds within the team benefits, it with a broader perspective, experience, and opinions. There are several benefits of having a culturally diverse team. It's proven already that a diverse team is more innovative. When we bring together individuals from different backgrounds, each with their own skills, talent, their viewpoints, we create a symphony of ideas. A diverse workforce not only actually enriches our own viewpoints, but also the organization. It has a very major effect on the organization culture, and it also has a very ripple effect on the communities we serve. When our team reflects on the demographics of our customers and clients, we actually build a stronger connection, foster trust, we enhance customer relationship, and the brand reputation actually goes up for the company. I must give you an excellent example of a cultural diversity. We have a hotel in Hyderabad. It's the Hotel ITC Kohinoor. And they started this project called Project Noor. Now, Project Noor is actually soon to be followed in other units. So, in one of the first very structured programs, they provide enhanced employment growth and opportunities to women, to people with disabilities, and the LGBTQIA plus community. It is basically divided into various phases, and each of this phase is a goal defined, followed by a series of sensitization sessions for all concerns. This also includes hiring, boarding, settling in period, building washrooms, doing a different, taking it to a different level altogether. So, it's a great program, and we all adapted this, and we will have our own targets now to actually adapt this entire Project Noor to all ITC hotels.
Sounds great.
So ITC hotels, we believe in diversity, and we believe in diversity is a fact. Inclusion is a choice.
Right.
And to be inclusive, we have to change mindsets. So beyond the numbers of percentages and the diversity, it is important to have a right environment that helps, enable an equal platform for everyone, and the new team members are warmly welcomed and well adjusted into our culture.
Right.
What are we today as an organization? It will shape our future. And in ITC Hotels has always been pioneer in such landmark initiatives that actually inspires the industry. So, at the end, it's basically the humans serving the humans, and staff diversity is just not a word. It's a cornerstone for our success.
Yes.
Coming to the topic actually of the conflict, it's a very good, this thing. I believe that, when individuals from different cultural backgrounds are going to come together, there is a potential for misunderstanding, misinterpretation, and conflicts. Different cultures have different communication norms, and some are very direct. Everyone has a unique way of expressing emotions. A simple gesture that might be very innocent for one culture can be very offensive or inappropriate for another culture. Moreover, our own upbringing, our personal space, hierarchy, our social etiquette can all differ, vastly across cultures. The way we address, negotiate, or disagree can be influenced by the place we come from, and or the culture norms that we aren't really always understood by everyone.
Right.
Nowadays, I think there are many sensitive topics like religion, politics, etc. And you never actually know that how much emotional weight they actually carry for someone. And engaging in such discussions about these topics without actually understanding the cultural context that quickly escalates into conflicts can actually damage the relationships. Cross-cultural conflicts. Now, coming to the how do we handle this, and how do we get away from this? I think it can be avoided by learning about the cultures, and that this can be obtained in hotels, especially through training sessions. We should encourage a lot of reading, talking to people from various cultures, and actually learning from our past experiences. That is the only way to learn about all these things. And if still there is a conflict, I think counseling associate by providing them a platform where the employee actually can discuss and their concerns with probably a neutral mediator who can actually calm him down and negotiate to find a common ground is the way out. And if you still yet get into a complex situations, I think we should seek a third party help. There are there are plenty of agencies to actually help negotiate such things, and they can provide actually a lot of insight, guidance, and strategies to resolve the conflict. That's my take on this.
Thank you, Gaurav. There's a fair bit of food for thought there. And building on a theme that you alluded to there, and coming to you, Arjun, how do you see the need for GMs to be culturally competent? Communication styles, for example, like Gaurav was also saying, may differ across cultures. So how do GMs then attune themselves to handle that? How to bridge those gaps? By taking into account such individual cultural traits.
I think a very interesting question. I'm not sure if Mr. Khanna has got this question because of the panel. Because if you see, I see 7 states on the screen right now. And 6 of us are leading a beautiful hotels in Kolkata. And only one of them is from Kolkata, actually. Right? I think culturally competent, of course. You all
and he's come back to Kolkata.
Yeah. So it's come back to Kolkata. So welcome back home, Arnab. So I think I find it very, very interesting, right? So you got to be culturally competent, and I like the word adaptable. So long gone is the statement, survival of the fittest. If that was true, dinosaurs would be still roaming around with us, but unfortunately, cockroaches coexist with us. So it's survival of the most adaptable species that actually thrives right now. And as general managers, you got to be adaptable. I think time and again, number of companies, I don't want to name any company right now, but if you're not adaptable, you're out of the game. And you have to be adaptable. You got to be open-minded. That's the way forward. That's exactly how it is. And when we talk about diversity, communication styles, how do we make sure the guest comes back? Long gone, our job as general managers is not anymore selling beds in the guest rooms or selling restaurant chairs. That's long gone. I think our job is to create experiences. People come back to us time and again. Why do we have some hotels called legacy hotels? People go back to you. I think one of the examples I have is you, right? We have Taj Bengal. People go there. It's an emotion attached to us. And I have guests who come to my hotel. We have recently done an event. We are going through extensive refurbishment. We are shutting down our banquets after 9 years of operations. So we threw a party to say, normally it's normal for everybody to throw a party to open a venue. We thought we'll give a thank the team, thank the market to say thank you for all that you have done. And the first company named Ginny Johnny, who's actually done an event with us, were there. He was ecstatic because he was an emotion connected. I'm the first company that have done an event here. I hold that irrational loyalty that comes in automatically, right?
Sure.
This is all about you have to be culturally sensitive. You got to be open-minded, and more importantly, you have to be adaptable. You can't say that this is how I do business down south. That's how I'm going to operate here in the east. No, that's not going to work, right? And people come all the way here not to see what they see. They want to see what is Bengal. Like I spoke in my previous question, you rightly asked how important is food for you. If I have a guest all the way coming from other side of the globe, coming to stay with me in Kolkata, we definitely don't want to eat salmon again. That's not what he is for. He may wants to try hilsa, right? That's the local specialty. And all the hotels in Kolkata right now, if you come, you'll see in every lobby, they're promoting the Ilish festival. That's
Yes.
there because they're so proud of it, and the fish is tasty. Right, I'm not a Bengali, but I love the dish, and I'm sure that that's exactly what it is. And our job is to make sure we bridge. As the general managers, like I told you, we believe in genuine relationships over transactional deals, because first one can be done by anybody. We don't need to be a hotel. And I was 2 weeks ago, I think, a good example, because that comes straight to this conversation. I was showing around a hotel to one of a very senior hotelier. And we finished the conversation. We were talking about artificial intelligence, robots taking over, everything. He said, no, yeah, that is there, but hotels don't have to worry. You know why? If it was a robot who was doing a show around for me, by now I would have been out and sit in my car and on the way out. But just because it's you who's doing the show around, you actually made me stop. You made me try the Bengali sweet. You're so proud to talk about the dish. You made me stop. So we had a drink. You made me taste that food. So that kind of connect is what it is. And I think whatever said and done, technology can come, go, it can get advanced, artificial intelligence come in. I know we are in an era of ChatGPT. One command can give a whole page out, but I think it's genuine relationships still thrive. And I strongly believe in that fact.
Great. So for all our listeners, I think two important lessons that Arjun made there. One is to be open-minded and one is to be adaptable. I think that's my takeaway from your response there. Shobhan, how do we explore the idea of hosting cultural events or showcases, in our hotels to educate our guests about the local traditions? In our hotel marketing efforts, how do we embrace such diversity?
Yeah, so I like what Arjun said. It's the era of adaptability and being agile rather than being stuck up to what we have learned in yesteryears, right? So, we come from an era, I think all of us, where, everything was being brought from outside and being put across. So there were jazz festivals, there were festivals which were very different. And when you do something like that, the local communities do not, maybe they enjoy it because it's new for them. But what about the guests who are coming and staying with you? They want to experience what the local culture is all about. So, at Hyatt, we have been hosting, and we realized, I think, in last 5-6 years that we should be hosting some local cultures, local festivals. And I hats off to Subhash. He started putting up a big pandal in his hotel. I mean, who would have thought about doing something very, very unique like that? So a cultural festival like that, as I mentioned in my previous session, is that Lodi as a festival is celebrated. And when I was starting this, and I said, are you serious? Lodi in Calcutta, who will come? And then we see, there was zero space on the road. We had to manage the traffic from Chingdi Hata till here. And so as Holi, these festivals are important. And I think it gives us a lot of leverage. Again, Arjun said that, it's not about transactional. So every event is not about generating revenues. It's not commercially, we don't want to have commercial sense to it, but it creates that interest for that particular hotel. And that's what we have been talking about, that, okay, this is what a festival like, let's take it as an example, a musical festival, which we did it in monsoon, right? And it's called we called it Malhar. And we had two beautiful local artists who came in. The evening was beautiful. They sang Bengali songs, they sang Hindi songs, but everything which related to that whole the environment of rains coming in and the food and everything together. So I think it's a great thought which is there. Coming to all inclusive marketing. So when we promote something, and as I said, we do not promote our staycation as a festival. We promote staycation to take out time and reconnect and rejuvenate, rather than, say Durga Puja festival is coming, come and celebrate Durga Puja with us. Right. We say come and rejuvenate, come and reconnect, right? Because it's the holiday for everyone, every cultural community which is there. So we focus on our marketing is all about this. Now, I just want to touch on a topic of what Gaurav mentioned about the DEI, and as Hyatt, we have a huge focus on DEI. In fact, the general managers are given KPIs based on DEI. We have in current scenario, we have 4 transgenders who are working in our hotel, and they've been doing amazingly well.
Wonderful.
Our target is to get 6 by the end of this year. 2 of them graduated last year. We got them into our hotel, and they're working, and we get beautiful comments about them. Now, here there was a catch which I wanted to, and I know I'm going out of topic, but it was interesting for us. So before we took this step early last year, we invited a person to talk about it and sensitize our manager how to deal with this. And then I had a session with these candidates as well, that, it will be difficult. The confidence on their face was amazing. They said, we have seen worst. We are not afraid about these things at all. So this gentleman who came in to teach us or to guide us, he said, you do not have to identify them as different. You have to include them.
Right.
So having a separate washroom was a mandate. So it was asked to them that, would you prefer to have a washroom separately? So the transgender male said, no, we do not. We want to go to the male washroom. Women said, we want to go to the female washroom. It was very clear that they don't want to be tagged as we are different. We are supposed to be part of the entire group. I'm very proud of them. Trust me. And it gives us a lot of encouragement to hire more. And so, the diverse, so we marketed this well, and we saw a lot of people coming in. We were very clear in our communication that it is not on the basis of what gender you are in. We are talking about if you have an ability, if you have a passion to perform, we are ready to take you here. So these are the things which we've been doing. And of course,
that's wonderful.
We look forward to more events like that to happen in the hotel.
Yeah, that's wonderful what you're doing. And Subhash, so we've heard so much now about all of these various aspects of diversity. So coming to a slightly tricky and a difficult one, on the need for GMs to engage in continuous learning. So how do we as leaders, therefore, with so much happening around us, how do we then stay updated?
I think I practice it in a utmost simplicity. And as the culture is a continuous evolving thing, as a culture also, we are growing each day. So in this dynamic environment, I find my synergy with the vibrant and young individuals who make up our team. Interacting with them not only keeps me abreast with what is the latest trends, but also infuses me with the energy and creativity that define their generation. So bridge the generation gap with the seeding headline, airlines. It is more about bridging the gap and understanding how the culture is stepping ahead and adapt to it. I think this collaborative spirit allows me to remain dynamic and in my approach, and ensuring that our offerings evolve in sync with the ever-changing cultural landscape. So, and at the heart of our commitment to cultural diversity, it's more about personalized experience we curate for our guests, guest feedback, preferences, stories, narrations. All of these shapes our understanding, and we learn from our guests, we learn from our associate as general managers, whether it is bringing a taste of some other state to Calcutta, and crafting a unique experience out of it, to a traveler, coming from a third state. All of it, I think, interaction guide us towards greater inclusivity as a culture.
Right.
In my personal journey, also, if I like to share, it is as we embrace the dynamic culture, uh, cultural diversity. Uh, we also embrace the spirit of continuous learning. Like my personal journey from kitchen to the general manager desk did taught me that it's just not a role. It's about connecting. It's about understanding. It's about constantly evolving. And together, we are not just observers. We are active participants in the symphony of culture that converge under one roof, which is our hotel. So
Right.
it is more about interacting. It is more about learning from others. It's more about observing, because I also believe that culture is something which you learn the best when you start relating to it, when you feel immersive about it, and then practicing and following it, and you start enjoying it. So it's not a push, it's not a change that we are seeking. It is more about learning how to be adaptable, as all the other speakers spoke about. I think it's more about that.
Super. Bhuvanesh, I must apologize. I'm sorry I didn't keep track of time, and I think we
No,
are
no, no,
now
no, no. We are well
pretty
in
much
time.
almost
Don't
at the
worry.
end. Okay.
Don't
Okay.
worry. Don't worry at all. So I think, why don't you do the closing words and sum it up, and then I'll come in.
No, so I think we have had a good discussion. We've explored a fair amount of aspects around this theme of diversity and how it impacts our various businesses, from the designing of our products and services to maybe our hiring and training practices to how we operate, and then how do we loop back with some of our guests, taking on feedback, revising some of these aspects and processes, and then putting out something new so that we keep on evolving on this journey of diversity. I think the points were well made, and for at least for me, I've come back with some very interesting points, especially like I said towards the end on what our colleagues across the spectrum are doing on DEI. The need to be adaptable, the need to be open-minded. Some of these sometimes they sound very obvious, but in your routine you tend to lose sight of this. So in that sense, I think we've covered some good ground, and I hope the rest of the audience also got some good takeaways. But that's all I have. Thank you, Bhuvanesh.
Very interesting summing up, but I must step back a little. All right. Could we have had a better anchor and a better moderator?
That's for the audience and you to respond, my friend.
No, that's not
We couldn't
that's
have,
for
for sure.
my friends. Mohan, you've been a very, very good anchor. You've been a great moderator. And the way you brought about the discussion to its logical conclusion, you timed it well. And gentlemen, to you, you put forth a brilliant case. And let me tell you, navigating cultural diversity is not the easiest of topics.
True.
But then you are great ambassadors for Kolkata, you're great ambassadors for the East, and you're great ambassadors for your brand and hotel, right?
And the industry,
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. That was my next point. That was my next point, because this show is being watched by a lot of impressionable youngsters who are, who've burnt midnight oil in hospitality schools to get ready to get into the industry. Now, here is your opportunity. When do you see better general managers and a senior vice president of the industry together presenting such a good case for the industry? This industry is brilliant. Look, these gentlemen are smart. They're articulate. They're skippers of their vessel. They're skippers of their ship. Let me ask you one question. How many people under your charge, Mohan?
Oh, 2,400 across the
There you
geography.
are. Oh, Arnab, you?
Close to 600.
Well, there you are. Gaurav?
Close to 1,400, sir.
Dekho. You, Arjun?
About 400.
Dekho. Kumar
Around 450.
and Subhash?
For me, it's 380.
So there you are. How do you manage all these assets? And look at the value of the assets that they manage, and look at the business that you guys handle and conduct for your brands. You are great ambassadors. Now, it is your responsibility to meet with youngsters, to give them a feel of this industry. Look, youngsters, this is the best industry to be in. Apart from 4Gs, IFS, or government servants who get transferred, you get to see brilliant places, brilliant cities. Look at all these guys. I mean, Mohanchandran has spent years in Rajasthan. He's done, I don't know how many other places. He's done West Bengal before. He's doing the entire East now. Gaurav, Arjun has done Goa. Likewise, Arnab, Subhash and Kumar. Be there. There is so much of learning. You get to meet the best people. You get to meet Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, or the chief ministers and prime ministers and everybody, and you handle them personally up front. So enough said about the industry. Thank you, gentlemen. Now,
Thank you.
a bit about BW Hotelier. I'll just take a minute. I did mention during the intermission, the BW Hotelier Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards are just around the corner. The nominations have opened up. For the East, you gentlemen should push for nominations. Salman, can you show the slide? And it'll close on the 4th of September. File your case. This year, your submissions are going to be qualitative and quantitative, and in certain cases with video interviews. So there will be 3 parts to the scrutiny, right? So 4th of September is the end date, and the summit is on the 20th and 21st of October, Friday and Saturday, and 21st evening is the awards night, and after 2 days of summit. Thank you so much. Enough said about BW Hotelier. Thank you, Diversey. Quickly, the Diversey video. Thank you. Now, this was the first show in Calcutta. Tomorrow is the second show, Friday, August 25th, 4 to 5 p.m. We'll again have some fine general management talent here. And the topic for the show is extremely important. Skill gap in hospitality, addressing training and development issues for hotel general managers. Thank you all. Mr. Mohanchandran, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being with you on the same stage, on the same screen. Gaurav, thank you. Arnab, thank you. Arjun, thank you.
Bhuvanesh.
Kumar and Subhash, thank you. Thank you for gracing our platform. It means a lot. And thank you, Team BW, Tanvi, Shweta, Kartikeya, Salman, Ajit, Saurabh, Amit, Nilesh. Thank you all. You do a great job. Thank you all.